Hey everybody, how are you feeling today? Excuse my phone while it stops wobbling. So don't know where I'm going to go with today with the thoughts that have been dropping in, but first of all, if you've not already seen, I am appearing on a podcast on, I think it is about 2 a.m. my time on Tuesday, so I'm in the UK. It's 8 p.m. Central Time in America, if I remember correctly, which time zone it is. And it's on the YouTube channel, the Unfiltered Unspoken podcast. So there'll be a post in my community tab on my YouTube channel, and I will post the channel in the description here as well. And on that, I'm talking about my experiences growing up in a fundamentalist Christian high control religion, and my experiences with my mental health and journeying out of that to where I am today. Also, if you've not already seen on my channel, I have some EFT for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. I will link the first one here, which is getting some interesting discussions going, which I always like. Interesting discussions are where it's at. And it's very fascinating to me how people get caught up in other people's reactions to things. And obviously, I'm the YouTube creator. It's my channel. It's my video. I've learned through my own journey that if I'm triggered by an event, anything, whether it's something one of my girls does, whether it's something my husband does, whether it's something someone outside does, whether it's something I see on Facebook, on YouTube, someone commenting and responding to something I've done. If I'm triggered to the point where I have a less than ideal reaction, shall we say, I have learned that it's best not to react in that energy. And I've learned that through reacting badly to things in the past, both physically in my family space, and online, in various circles online. I've learned if you feel in that state of high emotional trigger, that is not the time to respond to a situation, because then when you do that, you are literally reacting from the emotional state you're in that moment, and that's not the ideal time. Even if what you want to say is still the same, if you're still going to be angry about it, or still going to be upset by it, or still going to be irritated, frustrated, whatever, by it, when you react from that moment of the trigger, it's not the ideal time to react, because your message is likely not going to be well thought out, and it's actually going to be received in the way that you want it to be by whoever you're writing to or speaking to. So I've learned, if I do feel that sensation, and I've learned how that feels in my body, I've learned where I feel it, I've learned what my various energy centers and various body parts do. Like, if my fists go, then I know, like, this is not the time to respond. Let's step back and let's wait a moment. And in that time, various things can happen. Sometimes I might actually go around in the kitchen and slam things if I'm at home. If it's something within the family, I might go and start slamming things in the kitchen and washing the pots and doing things. Most mums out there will tell you how much they can clean when they're rage cleaning. It might be that I actually go and like write down something about how I'm feeling. I actually started doing this with like posts and stuff on Facebook maybe a couple of years ago now, when I read something and wanted to react to it, I would actually, rather than react in the comments on a post or even write my own like rage status, I would actually step back and go and write a well thought out post, and then I'd read it through, and is this worth sharing? Is this something that I want to write in the comments of the post that I've seen, or do I want to write this in its own post? And oftentimes that space gives you clarity, it gives you time, and it helps you to know, is it worth the energy that you're going to expend on it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it to say this? Is it going to be heard? Is it going to be received? Is anyone actually going to pay any attention to you whatsoever? Is it going to make a change? Is it going to make a difference with the situation, with the event, with the individual that you're trying to get a message across to? Is it going to make a difference? Because if it's going to make zero difference and it's going to make you feel like shit, it's probably not worth pursuing. Do something to help yourself, first and foremost. If you do think that it is going to make a difference, then it's always worth saying something. Even if it's not going to make a difference to the individual you're speaking to, sometimes it's other people. So as a holistic therapist, as somebody with a platform on various social media channels, I know that when I make a comment somewhere, it's not necessarily the individual I'm speaking to who's going to read it and go, huh, right, okay, yeah, that resonates with me, that makes sense to me, that is something that I needed to hear today. Sometimes it's somebody else reading. And I get that all the time when I'm like, comments that I've made months, even years ago, sometimes get a reaction from somebody on a Facebook page, and they'll go, oh my God, I needed to hear that today. That's really helped me get some clarity on something. So it's always worth weighing up, like, how's it going to make you feel? How is speaking your truth going to make you feel? And how is it going to be received? Not necessarily by the individual you're aiming it at, but by other people around. And this can be like within the family as well. And I think about how I'll speak up and say something, knowing that it won't necessarily have an impact at that moment on who I'm speaking to, but that it may be something that comes back to somebody's mind at a later occasion, be it the individual I'm speaking to within the family, some husband, one of the girls, whatever, or to somebody else in the family who can go, oh my God, yeah, Davina, mum said that the other day, the other week, the other month, last year. Oh, and it clicks. But for the sake of your energy and your emotional state and your state of mind, waiting can be the number one thing that's of benefit to you. So this is what I'm seeing. I mean, it's what I'm seeing generally as well with certain events going on in the world right now too. It's often best to step back, take a moment, take a breath. Always time to take a breath. And just feel into how far you want to pursue a thing. And for me, as a YouTube creator in this space here, knowing that I'm going to put stuff out there that may be seen by certain groups of people who are going to react in a like angered way or in a like defensive way, for me to not respond immediately to a comment that I see that somebody being angered at what I'm saying, that they feel they need to defend their faith or their religion, it gives time and space for me to go, right, how do I want to come across with this? But also, other people come and speak their feelings too. So as a YouTube creator, that's great for me because it can help me to see how other people, what other people need and how other people are feeling. It can help other people to be able to feel like they're in a safe place to speak their truth. So even if they are reacting from a triggered place, because they know this is a safe place for them to do so, they can speak that truth for themselves and know that there's a safe place for them to do that. If I reacted to every comment that came at me that was negative or hurtful or was trying to hurt me, if I reacted in an initial way or in an anger triggered back way, defensive to defensive just creates conflict, it wouldn't feel like a safe place to other people then coming along and going, oh, if this YouTube creator's getting defensive at someone being attacking them, where will they go? Where will they be if I'm like being triggered or upset in their presence? And as a holistic therapist, when people come to me, they need to feel held and safe and not judged, even if what they're saying I disagree with. They may be coming to me for support on something that is different from my choices or my beliefs. I have to be a non-judgmental, relatively neutral, safe place to be. And this is what I teach when I'm teaching Reiki. Like as a Reiki teacher, when I'm teaching, I'm not just teaching people, the basic ideas behind Reiki. I'm actually teaching people how to hold space for their clients, for individuals who they give and support with energy healing. Because being an energy healer isn't just about, oh, I'm going to like do this weird, like hold my hands out and put my hands on you and like you might not feel anything, you might feel something. I'm not just doing that. When people receive energy healing, they often then feel like there's things that come to them that they need to share. I always get much more from people at the end of a session. Now, people come into a session and go, how are you feeling? What's going on? How are you feeling? What's going on for you today? And everybody's always like, fine, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. And after the session's over, it's like, oh, so this is going on and that's going on. And it's like the energy flows and moves. They're able to share much more deeply what is going on for them. So whatever they then say in that space, they need to feel is safe, held, and of course confidential. And confidential is really, really high on my priority list of what I think is important in any sort of healthcare setting, any sort of therapy session. I've seen, having worked in healthcare for years before I had babies, I've seen betrayals of confidentiality happening and like been like, I'm sure this shouldn't be being discussed here with these people because this is like not anything to do with these people. And it's so vital that even in a YouTube space or in a Facebook group or on some other social media post, that people feel seen, heard and respected and held if they're going through trauma. And bearing in mind that the whole reason I'm creating the EFT for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses is because these people feel rejected, traumatized, have deep wounds that they themselves don't necessarily know how deep they go. I didn't know how deep my wounds went until years into my healing journey. Even now, there's still little things that will come up and I'll go, oh, that's a little piece of the puzzle there that I need to just fit into place as to why I feel like this is a pattern in my life, or this is an event in my life that's caused me trigger. Why have I been triggered by this event suddenly? When, I thought I'd healed all that, I thought I'd let all that go. And it's like, it's because there's another deeper piece of the puzzle that needs to be released or let go of. So yes, that's just really interesting perspectives. And take that wherever it feels right in your life right now. Where do you need to step away from the stories that you're hearing, seeing, reading, watching, having around you? Where do you need to step back from them and just sit with them for a moment And, you know, it might be a really triggering, traumatic situation that you need to do something like some EFT around. Like, I have many times sat there just tapping my fingers and thinking, like, what does this even mean? Why am I so wound up by this? Why am I so angered by this? And to understand or get this inner sense of what is going on for you. And, you know, listen to your intuition about what it is. Listen to your inner voice, your inner guidance system as to what it is that's triggered you. Has it brought something up from your past? Has it brought up something that you feel you need to defend? And then see what it is that you can do to support yourself through that. And take it and do the whole reason why these things come up, these stories, these events, these patterns, repeating patterns and cycles that we might see in our lives come up, is for us to see the way out. The way out will be presented if you're willing to see it and look for it. And sometimes it's not obvious. And sometimes we just move through it and do the same things we've always done. And that just means it'll come back again. Right, what is my way out of this? How do I move forward in a different way on this occasion to stop that thing from happening? And yeah, it's a journey. But it's a journey you can get through. And that's like, however you feel is a way through for you to get through, then, you know, take that path. It might be booking to see a holistic therapist or a conventional therapist. It might be going to see a doctor. It might even be like talking to a trusted friend or discussing it with your partner. It might be any of those things. It might be all of those things. But, you know, if there is something that you feel from my content that you feel that I can support you with, I do holistic consultations where you can bring all your stuff to me and I can direct you to the best of my services that can support you. You can obviously book for an EFT session. You can book onto my EFT groups, or you can go and find the right therapist, the right healer, the right support that's out there for you. But uncovering the pattern, the trigger, the situation can be key to knowing which path you need to choose to support yourself through. There's always a path out that will be an incredible, life-changing, life-building path to choose. Always. It's always there. It's never so desperate that you can't carry on. So that's my little thoughts for today. More EFT videos coming in the next few days. And if you'd like to join me for Rest, Surrender, Trust, which kicks off in about a month's time, then the sign up for that is open. I will drop that in the comments too. That is a 6 months deep self-nurturing process to help you really give yourself a break. Like, really give yourself a break to find the space, the time, the energy within yourself and within your life to get to know yourself at the deepest level, to get to know your triggers, to get to know your patterns, and to do it in a restful way, in a way that doesn't feel triggering and doesn't feel painful and traumatic, but to do it in a calm, peaceful way. And then to learn as we go through the 6 months to deepen into releasing the control and releasing the triggers and the patterns, the resentment at other people, to surrender to the parts of you that have the answers, and then to develop self-trust to know that you have those answers. And when you listen to your inner guidance, you can find a way through. So join me for that. It's very, very excited to be creating and bringing that to the world from September. So I will see you all again very soon. Don't forget to do all those lovely things that YouTube likes, like, comment, subscribe, to see more, to stay updated, particularly with the EFT videos that are coming in the coming few days. And I will see you all again very soon.